Today, I want to talk to you about how you can use the volume profile to help you plan out your trading day, and for both day trading and for swing trading. I could use some subscribers. So how about subscribing? Give me a like, thumbs up, leave a comment, and help that YouTube algorithm find this channel. And it's just fairly simple. This is the volume profile in Thinkorswim. The first thing I want to show you is how do you get this volume profile. So let me just go to a clean chart here. Show you how quickly. You go to Thinkorswim Studies. You just type in volume with a P, and it's right there. That's how you get the volume profile. Now I use the defaults, and this is what it looks like. That's the volume profile with the defaults on a 5-minute chart. So let me take this off so you know how to do it now, how to get it there. Actually, I'm going to leave this on. I'm going to need to come back to that. Anyhow, let's go back over to this one. Shut it down to the 1. Take my drawings off. Okay. What is the volume profile? Let's start by defining what the volume profile is. The volume profile is a study that represents trading activity over a specific time period at a specified time period and volume. Basically, it flips these volume bars that you see down here on the bottom. Right here. Basically flipping that on its side. So these are volume nodes. This blue area here, you see these are all volume nodes. Heavy volume, typically the heaviest will show what the red line is known as the point of control. These tan lines here, that's the value area. And this tan line right here, it's called the lower value area extreme. And this tan line right here is called the upper value area extreme. These blue lines, we'll get into that right at the end of the video. This is basically a standard deviation right here based on the time frame. These green lines, if you can add a second study and get 2 standard deviations, which is what I have done. So, getting back to, so the point of control, we'll talk about that first. The point of control is identified by this red bar. Now this point of control and these 2 value area extremes, they will show up. You don't have to do anything if you use the default settings when you load the volume profile onto your chart. But anyhow, the point of control is the value area where the most trades have happened at this certain price, and it's the area the most of volume. It is also known as the magnet. It's what price is either going to or going away from, and it will come back to, and so forth and so on. I will say this, when it gets to the point of control, it will tend to range. You notice how it's ranging a little bit right here, right there close to the point of control. It will tend to range contraction leads to range expansion. It will either go this way or it will go this way. So when you're at the point of control, it's really a coin flip on which way it's going to go. You may have other indicators that can kind of give you a little edge to kind of like give you an idea of which way it may go. But really it is a coin flip here. The best area for trading, in my opinion, is at the extremes. If you're at or above the value area extreme upper, you'll want to short, put some puts on. If you're at or below the value area extreme lower, you want to go long or put some calls on or call spreads. What you see beyond this, the value area right here, you'll see additional volume here, here, and you'll see this little area right here. You see the volume goes outside value area extremes. Now look at this area right here. This is what's known as a pocket. You might consider this to be a pocket. What are pockets? It's pockets of low volume where when price enters into it, it can move rapidly, either up or down through the pocket. Sometimes you will see price come up, touch the pocket, bounce back off. Come down, touch the pocket, bounce back off. But oftentimes it gets into the pocket and it just goes like that, or it's here and it goes like that. It's just, you might think of a pocket like if you're in an airplane and you hit an air pocket, the plane can drop real fast and you'll float up out of your seat, or move up real fast and you'll be just pushed into your seat. That's a way to compare it. One other thing I will say about the value area extremes, like the point of control, tends to range, tends to chop around it, pause at it. It will often do that at the value area extremes too. If you're above it and it's coming back into it, oftentimes it will chop right at it. Or if you're below it, come back to it, oftentimes it will chop right at it before it resumes either up or bounces off, or resumes down or bounces back up. Typically, when you see it above, it's going to go back in because the point of control is like a magnet. And below, it's going to go back up. That said, here for the past few weeks, I don't know if it's been a few weeks, but I know the last several days, in the indexes, the ES, the Russell, the NASDAQ has been above the value area extreme and has remained above the value extreme. It's come back and touched it and then bounced back up a couple times. So this isn't 100% that it's going to go back to the point of control, but it is a way to take a look, plan out your day, and say, okay, if it's up here, then your dominant reason or your dominant thesis will be that price is going to move back in towards the point of control. If it's down here, price is going to move up back into the point of control. That's your dominant thesis. And if the dominant thesis doesn't happen, in other words, if it's down here and it continues to fall, gets into a pocket or whatever, expect a larger than normal reaction. In other words, it's probably going to fall rapidly. Or if it's up here, it's probably going to bounce rapidly. So that's what we would call the alternate thesis, as my mentor explained to me. So if it doesn't come back in, if you're looking the night before or the morning of, you say, okay, price is up here above the value area. The dominant thesis is it should go back towards the point of control, or it's below the value area. Dominant thesis is it should go back towards the point of control. If that doesn't happen, expect a bigger than normal reaction if it goes the other way. So you have a dominant and an alternate thesis. Either one can play out. This is no guarantees. It's all probabilities on how it's going to move. But it's a way to kind of plan out your day so you can know what to be looking for. So we've explained what the value area is. Now, how can it help you with day trading? You'll notice I have my chart set on what is it? 10-day, 30 minutes, excuse me. I have my chart set on 10-day, 30 minutes. I use this for day trading, the 10-day, 30 minutes. That's how I plan my day out by using it. You can also use the 10-day, 30 minute if you're going to plan a short swing, 5 to 7 trading days out. If you're going to go for a longer swing, say 2 to 4 weeks, even 6 weeks, you'll want to go to the 20-day 1 hour to plan your swing trade out. Again, like this is DS, and it has just been relentlessly above the upper value area extreme, as you can see. Eventually, it's going to pull back in it and go to the other side, but probably not until 2021, first quarter 2021. Right now we got the holiday creep happening. It happens just about every year. So if you're going to plan out your swing trades, if it's above the value area extreme, you'll want to buy some puts, put spreads. If it's below that value area extreme, buy some calls, call spreads, buy stock, short stock, just depending on where it is in relation to the value area extreme. Now let's take a look at some other stocks, because this can work with anything, any stocks. Let me see here. Go percent change here. About Home Depot. Change this to red so it flip right over there. So let's say Home Depot. Let's get back to the 10-day. 10-day, 30-minute. You'll notice Home Depot is below the value area extreme. And it really, you'll see it was at the point of control and it just collapsed and went to the bottom. So what this means for me is tomorrow I'm putting on some call spreads. Because this thing's, the probabilities are this thing is going to go back up to at least the point of control. Possibly just move on to the other side. It often does that, often moves from one extreme to the other. But point of control is going to be my target. So tomorrow, got to put on Home Depot. Let's look at another. Lowe's. Lowe's, same thing. How about Walmart? Walmart's at a lower extreme. I put a trade on today. Call spreads on Walmart today. So I've already got them. Let's look at some of this on the other side. How about Costco? Costco's above the value area extreme. There's a good chance it's going to, the probabilities are it's going to go down here, but I did not put a put spread on Costco. I put call spreads on it. I'll show you why. Because the value area extreme is not all I look at when I'm making a decision. I'm also looking at the weekly chart. And you'll see here, if I put my moving averages on there, I got my 20 and 50 on here. You'll notice I put on call spreads today because it's near its 20 period moving average on the weekly, which tells me it's probably going to continue its trend. So I'm not looking at just the value area extreme, though I am looking at the value area extreme. I'm looking at other things to show you what my swing chart looks like. Here's exactly what I'm looking at every time before I make a decision on exactly what I'll do. I'll look at the value area control. I'll look at the daily, and then I'll look at the weekly. And you'll see Danaher's about ready to pop again, I think. Continue with its trend. I'm just waiting. It has been ranging for, 2 months now. So I'm just waiting for a breakout. Then I'm going to be putting on a trade on Danaher. It's either going to break out or it's going to break down. And I'm just waiting to see which one it's going to do. Because remember, range contraction leads to range expansion. So that's how I look at for swing trade. And I'm looking at these two charts right here. And I'm using the value area. And I'm using the direction. Is it in a strong trend? And moving averages that pull back. As you can see, though, Danaher for short term, you can ignore this altogether. You'll see it went from, it was underneath the lower value area, it went up. So you get long here, It's above, you get short here, so forth and so on. It's like that. You can look at a bunch of stocks and see that happen over and over again. You may have other things like the MACD and RSI to help you make decisions as well. But that's just ways to use the value area extreme to help you make decisions with your day trading and your swing trading. I hope this helps. I could use some subscribers. So how about subscribing? Give me a like, thumbs up, leave a comment, and help that YouTube algorithm find this channel.